Okay, we are going to make our pinch pot for the top of our bobbleheads. I have a couple of bodies here that I could make a head for. The dog, my Bob Ross, it's going to be Bob Ross, or just an art teacher. My fox, he's got a fox tail there. So I could make any one of those. I have smaller pieces of clay. These are for if you need to add anything and you've run out of clay. Even if you're still working on your base piece and you need something, you can grab some of these if you just have something small, because you could be still working on your base piece at this point as well. So I'm going to take, this one's pretty wet. So if you're working with one that is not quite this wet, you may need to make sure you have water next to you, because if you get cracks in it while you're making your pinch pot, you'll want to make sure that you're getting rid of those right away. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just tap in all of these corners, because I need to make this into a ball, but I don't want to add any air to it. Now when I'm making it into a ball, I'm going to have cupped hands. I'm not going to have a flat hand. Sometimes as I'm releasing it, it looks like my hand's flat, but I am cupping it. It's kind of like if you're taking a softball or a baseball back and forth in your hands. That's what you want to do. So this is a pretty good ball. I'm going to go ahead and put my thumb right where I feel like it had creased there, and I don't want there to be an air pocket. So I go up to about my knuckle, okay, because that's about how big this ball is, ball of clay. And now I'm going to be, what I do is I pinch between my thumb and my fingers. I'm not going like this. This is not what I want. I want it flat, okay? So I'm going to squeeze a little bit, let go, turn, squeeze, let go, turn, squeeze, let go, turn. And I'm not squeezing very much, but I'm just going round and round and round and round. And what you'll find, oops, I've got a little bit of a crack in the clay there. I might not have a very steady top as I'm turning it, so I could tap it on the table to make it nice and flat again. You're working to make sure the thickness is the same all the way around. Smooth the edges and make sure it's the same. Now I want to make sure that I don't have areas that are thicker than others, so I'm going to try to get that all nicely smoothed out so it's the same. I want to feel up in here and make sure the thickness is about the same. I'm going to do another tap because I want to make sure this is nice and flat around there. Okay, now I could decide, I need to figure out which one this is going to go on. So let's see. I could see about making this into my puppy. So I might take this a little bit farther down because I think he could have a bigger head here. Okay, so one thing I want to do is push out a little bit for the nose. So I'm going to just start pushing on the inside. You can kind of see how it's pushing out here. Okay, I'm probably going to add a bit of clay too, because, and I want to smooth all this out. Sometimes it's hard to tell from the front that it's coming out, so you want to look at from the side. Smooth all along. You don't want to have it just totally break on you and you've been clueless that it's had little cracks in it as you've been going. Okay. Let's see. I want him to have little jowls probably over here. So my first step is just kind of pushing things the way I feel like I want them to go. This clay is pretty soft. It's almost softer than I like, but it's easier to make into the pinch pot when it's soft. Harder to do to keep it in the shape that I want sometimes. Okay. So I'm going to decide to add some more of a nose to this because my dog's snout comes out farther. A few times as I'm doing this, I'm not crazy about it, and I do a lot of smoothing out to make it look a little more like a dog snout. I've also added a smile there because he looks like he smiles a lot. And he's kind of has in the corners, it looks like it comes up as in a smile. Okay, but I'm going to put my slip kind of not on the end, but on the inside here. So I'm going to score here. And slip. I want it to be, see how I'm like having it come towards me? And then I'm going to score here and slip and then attach. And then I'm just going to bring them up a bit. All right. I'm wanting to get this clay really attached here. And the other thing I want to do is kind of cup his ear a bit. Okay. Now make sure when you're adding something like an ear that you're not scoring on the little end all the way at the end. It's just not enough to attach to. So that's why I scored just on the front towards the bottom, and I had it attach and then just kind of turned it forward so that there was more of a surface to attach. It makes it much better. Here I'm adding a tongue, and I ended up kind of moving it a little bit later to be more towards the front. Make sure you're scoring and slipping anything that you attach. Okay, I've changed a couple of things. I've brought his eyes down a little bit. I moved his tongue over and added a little coil just underneath. Trying to decide if he's getting farther away from looking like a dog or not. And I don't know if I like how that comes out. So, he's coming along, my dog.